Hello, this is Charles Fockaert, January 2nd, 2018. I welcome all of you. Thank you for supporting this channel. Thank you for watching and all of that stuff. I want to do this video on cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. This is a little past due, but I've been busy working on the old mobile cabin here. I haven't got to some of the videos I wanted to do, but I wanted to get this one uploaded today. I want to talk about one particular cryptocurrency called XRP, or sometimes known aka Ripple. One is the protocol. Ripple is the protocol that this company is developing, called Ripple, for use in the banking system for cross-border transactions. And that's why I think this one is going to be big, because it's going to replace the SWIFT 40-year-old SWIFT protocol the banks use right now. So you're kind of using jujitsu with the banking system. It's not as anonymous as Bitcoin and the other ones, but I think it's too late, I think, to get into Bitcoin unless you got big money. And I don't have big money. And you know that saying, $1 a day late and $1 short? Well, we may be a minute late and a Bitcoin short, or a cryptocurrency short. A minute late and a cryptocurrency short. But anyway, I want to talk about blockchain technology too, because they kind of go hand in hand. Blockchain technology is what they're using. It's decentralized and distributed. Decentralized as opposed to the central banks. These blockchains are not operated out of a central headquarters location hub, but they're, like I said, decentralized, which makes it so that no one entity like JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, put the parentheses, Bank America, all of those Esau Edomites that took control of the money system, they can't control blockchain cryptocurrencies.
People often think of Bitcoin as only virtual money or a transaction system. But if you look closer, you'll see that the monetary aspect is just the tip of the iceberg. That's because Bitcoin is a groundbreaking internet technology for which money is merely one of the possible applications. Money exists to facilitate trade. Through the centuries, trade has become incredibly complex. Everyone trades with everyone worldwide. Trade is recorded in bookkeeping, and this information is often isolated and closed to the public. For this reason, we use third parties and middlemen we trust to facilitate and approve our transactions. Think of governments, banks, accountants, notaries, and the paper money in your wallet. We call these trusted third parties. This brings us to the essence of Bitcoin. Bitcoin software enables a network of computers to maintain a collective bookkeeping via the internet. This bookkeeping is neither closed nor in control of one party. Rather, it is public and available in one digital ledger, which is fully distributed across the network. We call this the blockchain. In the blockchain, all transactions are logged, including information on the time, date, participants, and amount of every single transaction. Each node in the network owns a full copy of the blockchain. On the basis of complicated, state-of-the-art mathematical principles, the transactions are verified by the so-called Bitcoin miners, who maintain the ledger. The mathematical principles also ensure that these nodes automatically and continuously agree about the current state of the ledger and every transaction in it. If anyone attempts to corrupt a transaction, the nodes will not arrive at a consensus, and hence will refuse to incorporate the transaction in the blockchain. So every transaction is public, and thousands of nodes unanimously agree that a transaction has occurred on date X at time Y. It's almost like there's a notary present at every transaction. This way, everyone has access to a shared single source of truth. This is why we can always trust the blockchain. The ledger doesn't care whether a Bitcoin represents a certain amount of euros or dollars, or anything else of value, or property for that matter. Users can decide for themselves what a unit of Bitcoin represents. A Bitcoin is divisible in 100 million units, and each unit is both individually identifiable and programmable. This means that users can assign properties to each unit. Users can program a unit to represent a eurocent, or a share in a company, a kilowatt-hour of energy, or a digital certificate of ownership. Because of this, Bitcoin is much more than simply money and payments. A Bitcoin can represent many kinds of property: 1,000 barrels of oil, award credits, or a vote during elections, for example. Moreover, Bitcoin allows us to make our currency smarter.
Back to Ripple, and why I think Ripple's going to make it so big is because they're going to solve a problem of the cross-border transactions and making it much more efficient, much quicker, real time. They can do many multiple transactions at the same time, the same moment. They can do a transaction in 3 or 4 seconds, as opposed to Swift takes sometimes 3 or 4 days. So it's a new technology for the banks, and I think they're going to buy into it. They already are. I won't go into that. You can check it out yourself. It's called Ripple. And the currency, the cryptocurrency they're going to use in this Ripple system, this blockchain technology, is called XRP. And it's still, when I first looked at it, it was selling for 85 cents. 85 cents a token. I looked at it again, and it was $1.10. And then I looked at it here recently, it was $2.20. So it's gone up by multiples of, thousands of percent in the last few weeks. And so you might want to check it out. I mentioned to a few of you. That's why a lot of us never have any money to do anything with. We don't take advantage of these opportunities when they come around. And I wish I could, but I don't think I can, because I can't prove my my place of residence now that I'm up here on the RV. So I'm going to miss out on this. And I'm going to tell you, and I was in Korea when I first looked into Bitcoin. It was selling for under $1, 2010-11. That's when I made the international move. That's my excuse for not getting into Bitcoin, because I was looking at Bitcoin. I was going to put a few $100s into it. I was making good money, a few $100s. I could lose it, not worry about it. Then I made the international move. And then when I got here, I was busy with the websites. Then I got sued. I'm not making excuses, but when you're not concentrating and you're not thinking about these kind of things, they slip under the radar, and then you hear about them later when they pop up on the big screen, and you go, oh, poo-poo, I could have got into that. So I'm telling you now, it's my opinion that this Ripple XRP is going to be a big deal, and you're going to be sorry you didn't get into it later. Like I said, a minute short, a day late, and a dollar short, a minute late, and a cryptocurrency short. I'm going to put this in here as an insert. I want to mention it here that the South Koreans are into this big time. South Korea is responsible for 50 to 60% or more of the increase in the value of the XRP. The banks between Japan and South Korea are doing they're experimenting with XRP. There's a lot of commerce, a lot of trade goes back and forth between Japan and South Korea. And the Koreans are into this high technology with Samsung, LG. They're way ahead of us in the banks there in South Korea. You can do a lot of things in South Korea with the banks that you can't do here with the ATM machines, etc. Their high-speed internet is much better than here in the States, etc., etc., etc. The prices are lower. Anyway, the Koreans are really in touch with the high-tech stuff, And they're buying into this XRP and Ripple big time. So I'm almost sure this is going to go, and the Japanese aren't too dumb either. Now, I want to talk about blockchain technology. We don't need our congressmen anymore. We could use blockchain technology and we could represent ourselves, and there wouldn't be any fraud in the voting and the elections. And we don't need guys like John Tester to be back there in Washington, D.C., which isn't even a part of our country. It's a, what do you call it? It's a foreign entity on our soil. It's not even, words escaping me right now. And it's a corporation. United States is a corporation. We don't need testers lying to us about geoengineering, that they're only contrails. We don't need the criminals and crooks back in Washington anymore. Our government and our Constitution was set up back when in the days of the horse and buggy, and they had a rep come back to the states and say, "Hey, what do you people want?" And then he went back to Washington and he told them, the other members, what they wanted, and they would all have a vote. And if they weren't bought off, bribed, blackmailed, or whatever, and that's why nothing's ever gone in our favor, because those people don't vote in our favor. They don't vote for what we want. They vote for what they want. They vote for what the people that are paying them want. So we don't need them anymore. We could use blockchain elections. We could use blockchain technology for our elections, and we could kick these criminals out of Washington. We wouldn't have to pay their salaries, and we could just get along much better without them, folks. It's exciting. I wish I was younger. I hope I'm alive to see some of this happen. Probably never will, because they're not going to vote it in. We're going to have to do it, and we aren't good at anything except standing at the football game watching the black athletes play ball and do the dance in the end zone when they score. So that's what we do best. So, and we also, the other thing we do best is we send our money to the Esau Edomites in Israel. They're the strongest ally in the Middle East. Now, don't forget that, okay? Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. And may the grace of God, our Father, Yahweh, the creator of the leaven plain earth, covered with the firmament, may his grace be upon us all, for we most certainly need it. See ya.